A bit of good news for you. Ferrari has used the Geneva Motor Show to say it will never, ever make a big SUV. And in my book, that is great news. So, if you have a family, your only choice will be this thing here. As you can probably tell, it's the FF. But it's not the FF, it's a facelift version that is now called the GTC4Lusso. The reason behind the name, I'm not too sure, but it's named after the old 330 GTC. So anyway, it is quite a comprehensive facelift, as you can probably tell. The big news is there's a more powerful version of the 6.3 litre V12, which is just the loveliest of engines. It revs to 8,250 RPM, and I hope it never dies. No hybrid or anything like that, but there is more power. It now produces, let's just double check, yep, 507 kilowatts and 697 newton meters of torque. That means the, about to say FF, not the FF, the GTC4Lusso, that's going to get boring, is now 0.3 of a second quicker to 100 kilometers per hour and takes 3.4 seconds, yeah, 3.4 seconds, and also tops out at 335 kilometers per hour. You also get the option of Ferrari's four-wheel steer system that's called 4RMS, and that's supposed to improve agility and handling in snowy situations. It basically dials out the understeer. What else can we say? There's also a new generation of Ferrari's slide slip control, which means, who knows, this might actually be driftable. I know the old car was pretty tricky at the limits, well, maybe with me behind the wheel. Inside, there's quite comprehensive tweaks to the infotainment system. There's now a new 10.25-inch screen that incorporates things like Apple CarPlay, so basically they're just bringing it up to date. And there's also, which is like the last model, there's a really cool mini version for the passenger, which is great because you can see what the driver's revs are, the speed, and for this new model, for 2016, there's also a G-force meter. So if the driver's scaring the hell out of you, at least you know how many G-forces you pulled before you hit a brick wall. We're not sure if it's going to come with a big premium over the old car, but I expect it will. So expect this to cost in the region of around $450,000 when it arrives sometime later this year.
Last bit again about the price?
Yeah.
Expect this to cost around?
Yeah, sure. We're not too sure about how much Ferrari will charge for the, not the FF, the GTC4Lusso when it arrives in Australia later this year, but it's safe to say expect it to cost around $450,000, so about $20,000 more than the current FF.